There are approximately 10 trillion fish in the world's oceans, and roughly half of them are herrings. If you've ever seen a school of herrings swimming together, you might have wondered why they do it. You might have also marveled at how many there are. There are so many that from a distance the mass of fish looks like one big animal. They're all around us in the water. You can hear their movement before we see it, a loud rushing sound like a freight train. And then we see this gray cloud rising in the distance, growing larger. It's becoming clearer, until we can make out individual fish, each one flashing silver in the sunlight. It takes our breath away. But why do they swim in schools? What's the point of it? After all, there's safety in numbers. That's a good start to an answer, but not the whole story. The truth is, scientists don't know exactly why herrings swim in huge schools, but they have some theories. Along the way, they've discovered some amazing adaptations. Herrings have evolved to help them survive in the open ocean. Like most animals that swim in groups or shoals, herrings are safer when they're in a school. There's strength in numbers. A lone fish is more likely to be eaten by a predator than one that's part of a large group. But the benefits of being in a school go beyond just that. When you're in a group, it's easier to find mates. And if you're in a big group, it's easier to find food. Herrings are small fish, and the species as a whole is pretty weak. But together, they can take on bigger prey. When a hungry whale comes looking for a snack, a school of herring can confuse it by all swimming in different directions. Because there are so many herring, the whale will probably end up eating only a few of them. Not enough to satisfy its hunger, but enough to sate it, leaving the rest of the school unharmed. Being part of a school also helps young herrings find their way home. Baby fish often get carried far away from their birthplace by currents in the ocean. But if they're in a school, they can use their buddies as guides to help navigate back to where they belong. And finally, staying in a school helps herrings conserve energy. When you're swimming along with the flow of the water, it doesn't take much effort to keep going. But when you go against the current, it takes a lot more energy. So if you're a herring, it's smarter to swim with the flow and let someone else lead the way. By working together, they can cover long distances without expending a lot of energy. To figure out why herrings swim in schools, scientists have done some really cool experiments. To track the movements of herring, researchers at the University of British Columbia attached electronic trackers to individual fish so they could see where they went and what they did. They found that while they were tracking, the fish would sometimes suddenly change direction. And when that happened, nearby fish would do the same thing too. Even if the fish weren't related, they were able to anticipate each other's movements and swim in unison. Scientists think herrings probably use a combination of sight and the movement of the water around them to communicate. They can sense the movement of nearby fish through something called the lateral line system. This system is a series of tiny receptors that run along the sides of a fish's body and head. They're sensitive to changes in water pressure and can detect the movement of another fish as far away as 2 meters, or about 6 feet away. Of course, scientists still have a lot to learn about how fish work. Just this year, a study showed that fish can recognize themselves in mirrors, which was a surprise to a lot of people. Maybe someday soon we'll find out exactly why herrings swim in schools. In the meantime, though, we can marvel at how such a simple behavior can help these fish survive in the wild. We can appreciate how lucky we are to live in a world that's full of so much beauty. From the smallest fish to the largest whales, from the way they move through the water to the way they interact with each other. There's always something new to discover, something that reminds us of just how amazing nature is. As David Attenborough says, nature is always showing us how it can be done, better than we can do it at the BBC.